Here we are, it is BBC Radio Stoke, talking to pop stars. Justin Bieber's been looking under the weather lately. There's been a lot of online speculation. That's what the internet's for, speculation. Sort of ungrounded theories put out as facts. A lot of speculation that he has a drugs problem. Not so. Justin Bieber made an announcement about his health, obviously to clear things up. It's a shame he has to do that, really. This is how it was announced in America.
Justin Bieber reveals that he has Lyme disease. Justin took to Instagram writing, while a lot of people kept saying Justin Bieber looks like on meth, etc., they failed to realize I've been recently diagnosed with Lyme disease. Not only that, but had a serious case of chronic mono, which affected my skin, brain function, energy, and overall health. Justin also revealed that he will be sharing a more intimate look at his health struggles in his new YouTube docuseries, Seasons, which will premiere in late January. According to reports, the artist's depression was largely due to the fact that he was suffering and no one knew what was wrong with him. The singer ends the post on a positive note and vows to get the right treatment, while also promising to return better than ever.
So I've got to confess my relative ignorance. I'm not sure what Lyme's disease is, so let's see if we can find out a bit more about it. Speak to Rosie Milsom from Caudwell LymeCo, which is a charity raising awareness of the disease. Hello, Rosie.
Hi there. Hiya, Perry.
Thank you for talking to us today. So, in a nutshell, what is Lyme disease?
So Lyme disease, it's an infection that's spread by tick bites. Some ticks carry the Lyme disease bacteria. The initial symptoms of Lyme disease are a little bit like flu, so kind of headache, swollen glands, stiff neck. Some people develop what's called a kind of bullseye rash or an EM rash, which spreads across the body, but not everybody gets that. So A lot of people kind of mistake it for flu, and if it's not kind of treated early, it can go on to cause kind of cognitive issues, neurological issues, issues with the heart, and a lot of joint pain and severe fatigue, which I think was mentioned, for just one of Justin's symptoms.
Does it sort of, once it's taken a grip in the host body, does it become chronic, or can it be cured?
It definitely can be cured, but the sooner you get treatment, the better. So I think they normally say if you can the treatment is just a standard course of 3 weeks of antibiotics. And for most people that get early treatment, that's all that's needed, and they can make a full recovery. But obviously some people might suffer complications, and some people who don't realise that the symptoms they're suffering from are Lyme disease, it can develop further, it can become chronic and develop some really kind of severe and life-limiting symptoms that can, go on for many years, and some people might never recover from. So
it's spread by ticks. How do you avoid picking up these ticks? Where not to go?
So what we generally say is we want people to enjoy the outdoors. It's really important for health and physical and mental health for people to kind of get out and enjoy the outdoors. We just say try and avoid long grass, because that's where they tend to kind of hang out, in long grass and foliage. So if you're walking out, try and keep to pathways. Cover up kind of bare legs if you're walking around. If you have got kind of bare legs out, use just standard kind of insect repellent with DEET will work against ticks. And just to check yourselves when you have been out and about, maybe walking in the countryside or in fields, or walking your dog, and check your dogs as well, for ticks, and just remove them really carefully, to prevent, if you do get one, prevent it from being able to spread the bacteria to you.
Are all ticks carriers of this, or is it just some?
No. More research needs to be done on the actual percentage. There's, it varies, across the UK. Obviously, there are more ticks, places where ticks are more kind of prevalent. I think the average research is showing about 13 to 17% of ticks carry Lyme disease bacteria, but then not all of them obviously will transmit it. But more research does need to be done on the exact number, but not every tick has Lyme disease. And
how rare is it? How unlucky is Justin Bieber to have contracted Lyme disease?
Well, that's an arguable thing. Lyme disease isn't as rare as many people might think. Right. I think at the moment, Public Health England kind of state there are 3,000 lab-confirmed cases a year, but there's recent research that shows there's expected to be around 8,000 cases a year. But even that number, a lot of the charities like ours, don't think is high enough, because, that doesn't account for people that don't even realise that they've got it, or perhaps have been tested on the NHS and come back with a false negative result because the tests aren't 100% accurate.
Right.
So, but we are finding out more about it all the time, and the more awareness that can be raised, the more people who might be suffering from these kinds of symptoms might, pick up and might be able to help.
And what is the job of LymeCo? Obviously, raising awareness is one thing. Are you also helping to fund research?
Yes, that's right. The kind of core mission of the charity, when we were set up by John Caudwell, was to fund research that finds an accurate kind of gold standard test to be available on the NHS and treatment that works for people at all stages of the disease, because at the moment that isn't there. Like I said, the tests, they do miss people with the disease, and treatment doesn't, work for every single patient. We want everyone to be able to be diagnosed and cured on the NHS. So alongside our awareness raising and our offering of information and advice to patients, that's our core purpose, to fund that research to kind of help the lives of thousands of people. And
of course, the businessman John Caudwell's involvement with this charity, setting it up, it's very personal to him, isn't it?
It is, yeah. He and 11 members of his family all got diagnosed with Lyme disease in 2015, and even with the resources that are available at his fingertips, the certain members of his family have suffered more than others, but, it took a very, very long time to find out the root cause of some of their illnesses. And as he says himself, in some cases he's had to go abroad to get treatment because it just isn't there either on the NHS, or there just isn't the knowledge there in the UK, and the only thing that's going to change that knowledge is research taking place to improve that. And people like Justin Bieber coming out and talking about his story and other kind of high profile styles, they really help to kind of raise awareness of the disease and hopefully help to kind of educate people and let people know about it, that maybe challenge some misconceptions about it, and hopefully raise awareness, like I say, keep people safe.
Indeed. Well, we can hope, can't we? Rosie, just quickly, in case people are listening and are unaware that they themselves, what they're suffering with is Lyme disease, what's sort of the primary symptoms, again, that they should be looking for, see if they have?
So initial symptoms, like I say, are a bit like flu. So if you kind of experience, and symptoms can take up to 3 months to appear as well. So if you notice a tick bite, or you may have been exposed to tick bites and you develop kind of flu-like symptoms, but that don't really go away, develop into kind of severe fatigue, maybe joint pain or cognitive issues, problems with memory, severe headaches, and certainly if you spot that bullseye rash, then you should go to your doctor and for treatment and perhaps testing.
Really useful to speak to you. Thank you so much for coming on. That's Rosie Milsom.
Thanks so much for having me. Thank you.
No worries at all. That's Rosie Milsom from LymeCo, John Caudwell's charity, to sort of spread awareness of Lyme disease, but also to raise funds for its ongoing research.